What's up, guys? Mindless again. Wanted to share another piece, and this is if you're a relatively seasoned collector, you'll definitely know who the maker is just by the pocket clip. What we're looking at today is a piece from Jeremy Marsh, and it's a Vanquish, but this is a mini Vanquish, and it's spec'd exactly how I would want one to be made. So throughout my few years collecting, I've had a few of Marsh's pieces come through the collection. I think I've actually done videos on a couple of them. Most recently was the Jeremy Marsh Lee Williams Rockstar collaboration, which if you look back, you'll see that video. It's within the last couple months. What the piece that made Jeremy so famous 2-3 years ago was really the Vanquish. This is the design, and to me, I find it just one of the most unique, original designs out in the market, and for a while, and it remains that way still. I currently have a full-size Vanquish, which is a lot bigger than this, but these mini Vanquish are the ones that I can't get enough of. They're so great to carry, super ergonomic, super comfortable, and the action is dialed in. Originally, on the early Marsh knives that I've handled, the action is not as good as this piece or the newer stuff. Just a little bit about the knife. We're looking at about a 3-inch cutting edge here to here. From pivot to tip, it's about 3 3/4 inches. Overall length is 7.5 inches. So it's not a small knife, but by no means is it a large knife. It literally melts into the pocket. And strangely enough, there's a few features of the knife that generally I would say I don't like, but for some reason on the Vanquish, it works. And I think the most obvious is the flipper tab. We'll talk about that a little more. So the spec of this one, it's a Damasteel blade, gorgeous. I know if you guys follow my Instagram or my YouTube, you know I'm a big fan of Damasteel. I actually prefer it over more traditional Damascus. I think it just looks a lot more elegant. To have a polish or shine on the blade adds so much. Plain tie, contoured handles, heavily contoured, you can see there. On the lock bar side, it is a frame lock, but then it's got a zirconium version of the Marsh, the iconic Marsh pocket clip, and it's just enough. You know what I mean? With such a busy pattern on this blade, the plain stonewashed titanium with a little bit of zirc just for black looks phenomenal. And all of Jeremy's knives, when you see this pocket clip in your pocket, it just looks awesome. Super, super elegant, super clean, simple, hidden hardware, just an all-around gorgeous knife. No lanyard hole. I mean, obviously you can probably tie it to that standoff, but I have a feeling the blade would lick it as it closed. Everything is perfect, though, as expected from Jeremy. You know, the guy does not make a lot of knives. I've heard numbers like he'll do a dozen a year, somewhere like that, where it's just, you know, almost impossible to get a knife from him. But for the collectors, it's great because the rarity of his pieces, no matter the model or the make or anything, the rarity keeps the values very strong for Marsh Knives market. And the Vanquish, to me, is still the pinnacle or the loved favorite design of his. I'll do a video on my large Vanquish because it's really dressy. It's got mocha and ironwood and, you know, hamon blade. But this is the one that I go to carry, and I actually do carry this piece. The Damasteel doesn't show scratches. It's such a busy pattern of the Damasteel that you just don't see the hairline scratches from daily use, cutting open envelopes or food or paper or whatever you might use it for, tape. You just don't see it. And then the stonewashed handles, I mean, you guys know why they stonewash them. It really hides daily wear. So this is the piece, the Marsh, that I feel comfortable carrying. And I think it reflects, you know, where I am in my collecting and the pieces that I'm willing to carry. You know, I like carrying customs, and this is one of those ones that just universally is kind of loved. So a little more about that flipper tab. It is proportionately extremely large for the knife. I mean, you could have gotten away with maybe 50% of this size, and I'm sure the action would be the same. However, it's extremely comfortable to flip. So, I don't know. And it provides a really serious finger guard. It's not like I'm stabbing things here, but I mean, technically that's what it's for. It looks good. It works. You know, I'm not a big fan of the huge flipper tabs, but this works. And it's just perfect. You know, I think originally in my collecting, I wasn't really attracted to Jeremy's work. And I know now, years down the road, that it's more of an acquired taste. And this is just my opinion, guys. But for me personally, it took a while for my taste to develop to the point that I could appreciate the design of this knife. You know, originally, I just didn't like this kind of bulbous front end, how it would kind of, it scooped up and it got thicker at the end. Now, I appreciate the grind here more than anything. If you take a look at his work, it is just perfection. And I think that is the universal on Jeremy Marsh's blades, is that when you look at the grind, you can't help but admire the work that's gone into it. The guy's a perfectionist. It's obvious. Relatively young guy. I think he's out of Michigan, but making some really, really amazing knives. Personally, I think I saw the first time I saw a Vanquish was on a video on YouTube. I think it was from Brian Dunn, and he had one. And when I saw the pocket clip, I was just like, whoa, that's very original, very unique. And something about having this really fat edge to it right here makes it super smooth going in and out of the pocket. To me, I was kind of like, oh, that's a crazy looking knife. And you flash forward a couple years, and the opportunities to score them, you know, became easier for me, and I began to pick them up here and there. And to be honest with you, I've grabbed a couple that I did not like, and I got rid of pretty quickly. However, excuse me, this one, I love this one. I think it's the simplicity of the handle and Damasteel. I mean, it's in the details, guys. We talk about that all the time in the knife world, but the conical kind of domed pivot on the show side, and then even the color of the pivot screw is blackened to kind of match the zirconium. I don't even know if it is a zirconium screw. I doubt it, but it just lends to like a clean look. The knife is just clean. Super, super comfortable. The jimping is perfect. I mean, actually, I used to like high frequency jimping, and after this particular knife, I kind of appreciate a little bit lower frequency. And then what you can see he's done is on the tops, he's kind of chopped them off, so there's a little nub on the top of each little peak in the jimping, and it works phenomenally. You definitely grab on tight. So I wanted to share this one with you. It is rare. You're not going to see Vanquish from Jeremy Marsh too often. And it's very different than other things on my channel. I've been really recently showing a few of the scores that I've got from Brad Blunt and guys out of Tennessee, and I'm not hiding the fact that I love those knives. And I think this is the opposite direction. You're getting something that's a little bit more sophisticated. It's kind of leaning more towards a gentleman's carry. And artistically speaking, it's very unique. I don't really see too many makers going towards this shape or this blade profile, and I love it. I mean, it's almost like a Warney sheep's foot with like a giant cutout and a nose swedge, and it is unique and it is beautiful. This came to me, God, I think it was in a trade. Yeah, it was a multi-knife trade probably about 4 months ago, so I've had it for a while. I've been carrying it. It hides everything so well, and when the opportunity came up and this was getting thrown into the deal, I just jumped all over it because I had never seen a plain tie handle Damasteel Vanquish, and especially in the smaller versions. And to me, this is perfect for EDC. The large one is extremely large. It has a lot more presence. The flipping action is a lot more aggressive. This just is perfect. The size, the action is perfect, extremely smooth, great sound on open, on deployment, perfectly ground. Take a look at the lockup right there. It's about 40%. Closed position. See if we can get it to focus for you guys. Come on now. There you go. Dead centered. Look at the tolerances. Just as tight as it can be. Just a well-made knife. Beautiful work. The etching on the Damasteel is executed perfectly. I mean, guys, Jeremy Marsh makes a good knife. That's the bottom line, and I'm sure most collectors of tactical blades will agree with that statement. He absolutely does. Whether or not you're attracted to this shape, it cannot be... there's no doubt that Jeremy makes a good knife. His skills, they're there for sure. The story goes that, you know, much like other knife makers, he was given knives as a child, and he ended up buying a couple production pieces, taking them apart, learning the ins and outs of how locks work and the action and all that good stuff. And shortly thereafter, he started making knives for his family members, and every single design that he makes is very, very unique. And it's just a testament to the fact that knife makers are part artist, part kind of engineer, and I think Jeremy kind of lands on the artist side a little bit more than other makers out there, and just stoked to have this piece in my collection. You can kind of see he even kind of etched, there's the Marsh logo right there. Even the logo is sick. It's just sick. It absolutely is. Just an absolutely gorgeous piece. And I wanted to share it with you guys. So if you have any questions about this piece or any of the past videos, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. If you dug it, throw me a like. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I do my best to come out with a video at least once a week. And I've been pretty good about it unless I'm out of town or have a family obligation. But again, I thank you guys for supporting the channel, all the kind words, all the USN brothers, everybody who supports it. I truly, deeply appreciate it. So anyway, this is Mini Vanquish, Damasteel, tie, and zirc from Jeremy Marsh Custom Knives. I wanted to share it with you guys. I'll put that down right there. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy, fellas.